Happy Monday. This is Making Over Monday. I am Jessica of Jessica Builds. I have 7 children. I have a home. My husband and I, we have been entrepreneurs and we've been in business in one way or another for the last 27 years. As a matter of fact, we just celebrated our 27th wedding anniversary in July. See, when you get to a certain period of being married, you don't remember what month you were married in or what year for that matter. And my husband is not the only one. I'm equally as responsible for not having the best memory when it comes to our anniversary. I should remember it each year because it traditionally falls on the 6th of July and there's a 4-day weekend, which is the 4th of July. We did not plan that, mind you. It just happened. So thankfully, after 27 years of being married, and having been in business, I had my own business when I was 19 when we met. My husband also had his own business. So we've always had the bend towards being in business. Part of the reason why we have podcasts, part of the reason why we share publicly on a public platform the things that we have done is because we believe that we have actually, in the 27 years of being married, we've kind of done a lot. We've run businesses, we've raised families, we've homeschooled, we've moved. Oh my goodness gracious. How many times have we moved? I know that we're probably at 11. This house that we're in right now, we've been in this house there was one other house before this one that we lived in for 8 years. This house we have now been in for almost 8 years. So that's a long time for us. That's nearly a 16-year spread in the same town, and we've moved states. So if you would like any tips on moving, I've got them. If you'd like any tips on homeschooling, I've got those. If you'd like any tips on running a business out of the home, getting a Cottage C license for your home baking business in the state of California, yeah, I've done that too. So we've done a little bit of everything. There's a quote that says, Jack of all trades, master of none. That is actually misquoted. The entire quote is Jack of all trades, master of none, but more often better than one. So I like that. I like that a lot. I have to have life by the horns. I do not feel alive unless I am doing something. That's part of why initially I was very uncomfortable with the concept of Jessica Builds. Like, I don't want to have any kind of glory. I don't want to have any kind of recognition. I don't want it to be anything about me. Can't we name it something else? Can't we name it, butterfly field or something like Mariposa? Like, can't we name it something that doesn't have anything to do with me? But then it was really pressed upon me that this isn't a business about me. Like, this isn't entertainment about me. This is who I am, and this is my character, and this is what I do. And what I do is I build. I get a kick out of building up people. I get a kick out of building things. I love to see something broken, see something maybe misused, see something not being used properly, like maybe not even being used to its complete potential, and being able to breathe life into that and being able to create something amazing out of it. So Jessica Builds came about just simply because of that, and the website jessicabuilds.com was available. So I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. The Jessica Builds is available. Like, I should jump on that. While it's available, let's take it. It's the same with my email address. And if y'all want to start emailing me, you're more than welcome to. But it was one of those things where it was like available and I took it. So what we're going to be talking about on today's Making Over Monday, as promised, is home health. And what does home health mean? So the reason why this home health episode today happened was we do a lot of road trips as a family. And as a family on road trips, I was stopping in a gas station at one point, and it's interesting because they have books in gas stations. Now, I don't know who's reading and driving, but maybe it's because when you get to the hotel, you will be reading, eventually, you will be reading a book. And so they had these books in these gas stations, this one gas station, and it was about yay big, yay thick, and about yay tall. It was kind of like the size of a greeting card, like the size of a card. And the cover is always intriguing because it was called Home Organization. And if you know me or anything about me, I love anything to do with home organization. I love reading books about it. I love having magazines about it. I just am a big geek when it comes to home organization, and I've probably watched all of the shows, and I've probably listened to all of the different takes and different points of view on how to become more organized, how to become better organized. So, this particular book that I found in the gas station intrigued me, number one, because it was in a gas station, and number two, because it had the title of Home Organization, and I will buy it. If it says Home Organization, I will probably buy it. I don't know if you could have a large family and not be interested in home organization, but perhaps we should be interested in home organization, even if we're a single person at home. Well, reading through the book, as I started flipping through the pages, the author came to this statement, and the statement was basically this: if you don't feel comfortable letting people into your home, if you don't feel comfortable letting people in, you don't feel comfortable letting people, you will never let people in. And that was more, she was saying it was more than just, if you don't feel comfortable letting people into your home, you won't ever feel comfortable letting people into your life. And I thought that that was absolutely intriguing. And that kind of set me down the path of really redefining and clarifying the atmosphere of the home and home atmosphere and home health. Because how many of you know that we can become religious about our diets, we can become religious about our gym time, but if we are going to a restaurant or if we're leaving the home and eating perfectly clean foods, vegetables and lean meat and however you want to say it, righteous, right? We're eating righteously when we go out. But then we come home and our home is a mess and our kitchen is filled with dishes and our floors are filthy and our beds aren't made. We don't want to maintain that level of virtuousness when we're in our home. We're either going to want to do one of two things. We're going to either want to turn around and tuck tail and head out, or we're going to want to just give up and go into the refrigerator next time we eat and eat whatever's unclean or gross or, not good for us. You listen to the Body and Nutrition Making Over Monday. There's no good food or bad food. It's just food. But our tendency to get to the point to where we want to just let it all go can be quite honestly environmental. So if you've let your house all go, then you can typically let your diet go, you can let your appearance go, you can let it all go fairly easy. So the concept of home health is that when we can clean our environment, when we can clean the place that we come home to, when we can become organized in the home, my hypothesis is that we will become healthier as individuals. When we have a very well-organized home, when we have a well-organized kitchen, when we open up the refrigerator and there isn't a bunch of stale food or rotting food, but we actually have healthy food, like not even healthy food, just how about dated for this week? If we have food in the fridge that's not bad food, like not going to go bad and not already bad and like growing hair on things, then we are going to walk out our door feeling much more confident and much more put together. And then we're going to come back home after going and doing those things, going to the gym, eating healthy, going out with our girlfriends, going out with our guy friends. We're going to come back home and we're going to open that refrigerator and it's going to be clean. And we're going to come back home and we're going to walk through those front doors and the floors are going to be vacuumed. So this is what we are working on. This is what we're talking about today. We're talking about home health. And if you have any questions about organization, or if you have any questions about organizing or reorganizing, like that's what today is all about. That's what I am here for. First thing that I'd like to talk about is I actually went through, as I was getting prepared for the daily shorts. I hope that you've been enjoying them. We've been going through the 5 steps to the organization process that we subscribe to. One of the many moves that we have done, we moved from Portland, Oregon to Dallas, Texas. And in the transition from Portland, Oregon to Dallas, Texas, we stopped by the public storage unit. And at the public storage unit to get the boxes and to rent the U-Haul, because they used to do the, I don't know if they are partnering together now. I think U-Haul has their own storage, but used to be that you'd go to public storage and you'd get your U-Haul. There was a woman who was helping us, and we got complimentary because I think we were moving, 3,000 miles. We're moving pretty far away. There was this book called Organizing from the Inside Out by Julie Morgenstern. And Julia Morgenstern wrote this amazing book, which I highly recommend to anybody. It's still for sale. You can go on Amazon and find it. Organizing from the Inside Out. And in the book, Organizing from the Inside Out, she shares this acronym that she uses on SPACE. SPACE. The first is step 1 is to sort. Whatever space that you're looking at, sort it. What do you have in there? What's going on? The second is to purge. Okay, now that you know what you have, now that you know what's going on, we're going to get a couple of trash bags. I like using 2 different colored trash bags so that when I am going through and I'm quickly purging, I don't get mixed up on the end process. I have all of my Goodwill things in like one white bag, and then I have all my garbage things in a different colored bag, a green bag or a black bag or brown bag, whatever other color that there is, like a lawn bag versus like a kitchen bag. And that way, mentally for me, I can just quickly go through whatever it is that I'm sorting, and more often than that, it's children's toys. And so as I'm sorting, I will pick through and put what goes into the Goodwill into one color bag and what goes into trash into the other color bag, which makes it super simple at the end. So first we sort, then we purge, then we assign a place. What have we got left? Where should it go? She recommends that your space that you're in doesn't do anything more than 3 things. So your bedroom, if it's an office and a sleeping place and a place to get dressed, that's 3 things. That's 3 activities. That is the max. We don't want to have our office and our bedroom and our dressing space and our kitchenette and our playroom and our kids' toys. So if you can, take your space, whatever space that you are currently feeling overwhelmed with, and see what you can do to get it to a 3 activity minimum. Get it to a 3 activity maximum, and take those 3 things that you are going, those 3 activities, and keep all of your items that are related to that in the 3 activity limit. So sort, purge, assign a place. If it doesn't belong to those 3 activities, whatever those 3 activities are that you've pre-selected, then you need to assign a place for it somewhere else. If it's a kid's toy, then it needs to go in the kids' room. If it's a living room book, like for the bookshelf for the living room, then it goes in the living room. So sort, purge, assign a place. Number 4 is containerize. So find containers for those things that need to be stored, that need to be put away. Don't be afraid to go and invest in some good money into some organizational supplies. Now, I haven't always had the money to buy organizational containers, but I've always been able to think of multi-purpose things like baskets doing a basket, a laundry basket becomes a something else storage container. Trunk becomes a blanket container. So containers, as you gather them, you can find good deals on them at the secondhand stores. The Container Store, obviously, Amazon has a lot. So containers are pretty good and easy to come by. So if you can recognize that in your cleaning up process that you need to have a container for those things to get put away, that is absolutely important and super relevant for the needed for the space. Sort, purge, assign a place, containerize, and then finally equalize is E. Equalize is what we do at the end of every night. Now that you've sorted your space, you've purged your space, you've assigned a place for all of your things, and you've containerized. Now, hopefully, the goal is that each evening before you go to bed, within 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you can equalize your space. And in the equalizing of your space, you can put everything away easily and your space can stay well ordered and organized. So, that is, in a nutshell, what we've been going through on the daily shorts. SPACE. And part of why it's important is that there's order to everything, that there is a need for recognizing that we have order. Human beings need order. Human beings need to be able to understand that a healthy home is a start of a healthy life. And I don't believe that it is a coincidence that in scripture it says he who finds a wife finds a good thing, and that we as women and wives are worth far more than gold, because it would appear that keeping the home and being able to keep your home is something that's very important to us. And as it is very important to us and it is one of our strengths, the more organized and the more well thought out our homes are, the more organized, the more well thought out we are. And a lot of men can really benefit from that ability that we have as women to really desire to maintain, organize, and keep an atmosphere of peace at home. So here are some scriptures on organization. Just being real, because I am a real human being for sure. And I have had to struggle tremendously when it comes to organization and getting organized. I'm not naturally an organized person, but I don't think that that's true. Let me rephrase that. I'm going to watch the words of my mouth. I love symmetry. My eye likes order. I've learned this about me. I used to have a really hard time with abstract art because there's so much chaos that it would take my brain a little bit too long to find, because I'm also I'm not patient by nature. I've had to learn how to become patient. My brain would take too long to make sense out of an abstract piece of art. And so since my mind would take so long to make sense out of it, I would, cast it off as not being any good. You can easily make sense. Well, okay, so maybe not the Mona Lisa because everybody's like questioning her smile, but you can easily make sense out of the Mona Lisa because it's a woman and she's posing and it's a portrait and it all makes sense. There's nothing out of place. My mind will naturally try to correct things that don't come into place. Like if it was the Mona Lisa, but there was a hair out of place, like sticking up on the left or whatever, like I would want to organize it. I would want to, in my brain, make it make sense. And so immediately I would cast judgment upon, if the painting was painted with a hair out of place, I would cast judgment upon that particular piece of art as being not any good because the hair was not put right. So while I am not naturally an organized person per se, I am naturally predisposed to wanting to make order out of what I see. And so it has just taken time, and it has taken technique, and it has taken habit, and it has taken education, and it has taken practice of attempting to get better at organizing and bringing things together. And it's taken a tremendous amount of patience. Know that home health and organizing your space is not going to happen overnight. And when you're in the middle of a project, it's going to look like pure chaos. I actually am in the middle of a project right now We're redoing the bedroom because it has to serve three functions. It has to serve as a dressing space for my husband, it has to serve as an office, and it has to serve as a bedroom. And so we needed some shelving in order to containerize, going through the SPACE, SPACE acronym. We needed some bookshelves added in order to containerize a lot of the books. And so I built some over the weekend, but I didn't get a chance to finish painting. I didn't get a chance to put everything away. And so all of that is strewn about the hallways. All of that is, so we're in the middle of a project, and in the middle of project, you will find chaos, but it's only temporary. And we are moving forward. We are making sense out of what doesn't make sense, correct? So here are some scriptures that I found while I was looking up on organization. 1 Corinthians 14:40 says, "But all things should be done decently and in order." That's pretty simple. There's an order to things. You have to learn how to crawl before you can learn how to walk or stand. And then you have to learn how to, walk. So there's an order to things. And this scripture right here is saying that not only is there an order, knucklehead, things should be done in order. There has to be processes put in place. 1 Corinthians 14:33 says, "For God is not a God of confusion, but of peace." In the NIV it says, "For God is not a God of disorder, but of peace." So there is peace which comes when we take things that are disordered and then we make it more ordered and attempt to put order where there is no order. Acts 20:28 says, "Pay careful attention to yourselves and to all the flock in which the Holy Spirit has made you overseers, to care for the church of God, which he obtained with his own blood." So here we have Paul reaching out to us saying, be careful, pay attention to yourselves, like pay attention to your flock, what's going on. Think about it this way: if you're a shepherd and you have sheep at your command and you're a leader of sheep, you can't just be willy-nilly about it. You can't just let them go. This is your livelihood. This is your living. This is your home. And as this is your home, and as this is your livelihood, and as this is your living, you're going to need to make sure that they have food, and that they have water, and that they are kept safe, and that there's a pen, and that there's you shear them. So there's a whole order to maintaining your flock. Well, it does not, just because it's our home and relax in it, does not mean that we should not ever be open to letting people into it. And why is it important to let people into our life? Because we are a living testimony to God. We are not only supposed to be living sacrifices and continue to offer ourselves up to the Lord, we're called to be testimonies of God and his goodness and what he's done in our lives. Imagine being overweight, tremendously overweight. Imagine being, 200 pounds overweight and having lost 200 pounds and then not saying anything. So now you're walking around the best shape of your life, the best health of your life, but you go home and you don't want to tell anybody. We're called to be living as if we've already lost the weight. We're called to be living as if we've already inherited our promise and already inherited our blessing. And in that process, we are called to be open. We're called to be hostesses. We're called to invite people in and to share what God has given us with others. And so that's a part of being able to let people in. And that's why it's important that our homes are healthy. Galatians 6:9 says, "And let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up." So if you can look at your home as a reflection of doing good. Am I doing good for my home? Am I doing good by the people that are living in my home? Is the first thing that my kids see when they come downstairs a pile of dirty dishes, or do they see the kitchen sink clean and the dishes put away? To add to that statement about the dishes, we have amassed quite a few dishes in our life, because 9 people and all the cooking, and there are a ton of dishes. Here's what I have found. Here's a little nugget, a little wealth of evaluated life experience. If you are constantly struggling with dishes and having the dishes be done, could you do paper? Yes, but it's not very good for the environment. Have I done paper? More often than not, especially with large family gatherings. I mean, a large family gathering. Like Sunday dinner at our house can consist usually of up to 20 people. So, will I use plastic or paper? Sometimes I will. I do subscribe to what I was taught, which was food tastes better when it's on china. But here's what I have found for daily use and keeping the dishes down. The first, pay one of the older children an allowance to keep up on the dishes. If they need to earn money, would like to earn money, that's a really good investment. Think about it as this: would you pay somebody to come in, a house cleaner to come in and do your dishes? Then, instead of maybe hiring a house cleaner outside of the family, offer the opportunity up to your children to make that money. The second thing is, if you have a family of 10, if you have a family of 5, keep 5 plates in the cupboard. Yep. Minimal amount of plates and minimum amount of utensils will ensure that the dishes get washed more regularly, that the dishwasher is always loaded, and that you always have clean dishes, because the less amount of, if you only have 1 plate and you're responsible for that 1 plate, it will stay clean and it will get put away. When you have 20 plates, all 20 will get dirty no matter what. When you have 50 cups, it never fails. When I've had a lot of cups, I will find a lot of cups all over the house, because kids will go and they will get a brand new clean cup every time they want to take a drink throughout the entire day. And if you have access to all of those cups, guess what? You're going to be washing all of those cups. So having a dedicated cup, having a dedicated plate for yourself, or paying one of your children that are older to do the dishes. And I have a saying that I always say, that I would rather, there's the kids are always playing the I would rather game. I would rather, in this case, for sure, take a dirty cup out of the cupboard and have to rewash 1 cup because they didn't quite get it clean enough, than be in having to be standing over my sink all day long washing dishes and having to have control over that area. I have learned how to delegate and give control to the children over how clean the dishes are. Now, will I say something? I don't know. I might say something, but more often than not, I'm just going to take the cup and I'm going to say, oh, they missed a spot. And then I'm just going to rinse it and I'm going to use it, because that's my trade-off, right? I've got other things that I need to be thinking about than micromanaging how clean these cups are. So home health is very important. Obviously, clearly throughout the scripture, it has been brought up that you can, that we can, that God can and does work by order. Luke 14:28 says, "For which of you desiring to build a tower does not first sit down and count the cost?" What he's saying here in Luke is, count the cost, right? What is the cost to not being organized? What is the cost to not be clean? Let me read that once again. Luke 14:28. "For which of you desiring to build a tower?" For which of you desiring to build a home, it could say, does not first sit down and count the cost, whether he has enough to complete it. Do you recognize going into getting married? Do you recognize going into leaving your home and moving out on your own? Do you recognize building a business? Do you recognize that there's a cost of maintenance? There's a cost that's going to have to be paid in order to have these things running smoothly, in order to have these things running effectively. And so I would like to encourage you that before you go and purchase another sweater for your closet, before you go and purchase another pair of shoes, before you go and purchase another piece of furniture to go into your home, what is the cost of that? what is it going to cost you? Like, not just financially, but what is it going to cost your space? Can you take one thing out? Can you take a article of clothing? Can you donate a sweater before you bring in a new sweater? Can you remove a pair of shoes before you bring in some new pair of shoes? Can you take out a piece of furniture? All of these things. What is this item that I'm bringing home into my home? Is it going to help my home be healthy? Or am I just adding more to my home, more clutter, more chaos, more disorder to my home? And as we are winding down this morning for Making Monday Great, Making Over Monday, I would like to challenge you to make over a space in your house by the next time that we talk. By our next episode, I would like to challenge you to make something over and then share with me. Share with me in your comments. Share with me through private message what it is that you changed, what it is that you went through. Did you go through your purse? Did you go through your closet? Did you go through the trunk of your car? What did you go through in order to make over your space? Maybe you don't need to make over anything. If you're fine, if all your spaces are made over and clear and healthy, then maybe go over and see a neighbor, somebody that has find another mom of multiples, find another mom like me, and go and offer to bring her some iced tea and sit down with her and go through her drawers with her, because she needs help. We need to help each other, and we need help. And if you've got all of your space clean and organized and your home is healthy, I am so excited that your home is healthy. Now let's go help other people become healthy too. And you don't need to criticize them. You don't need to pass judgment on them as they open up their closets to you and they show you things falling down. And that TV show growing up with the kids was Zaboomafoo. And every time they open the closet at Zaboomafoo, in the zoo house, all the things started falling down on them. Like, it's okay. You can have a Zaboomafoo closet. You can have a Zabu closet. We're not going to judge you. Don't judge them. Help them. Help them to see the importance of being able to let people into their lives and let people into their homes, and to be able to have a healthy home. Because once you have a healthy home, you're going to want to go to the gym. Once you have a healthy home, you're going to want to eat healthy. Once you have a healthy home, you're going to want to serve and be a blessing to others. So let's go encourage home health this week. Let's go and motivate others to become healthy, to continue on the health process, to be able to put a home behind their heart and a home behind what they do. And as you do, I think that you're going to find out that you're going to be blessed, and you're going to want to come home and put those things away. You're going to want to go home and fold a little bit extra. I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next Monday. God bless you, everybody. Have an awesome and blessed rest of your day. Bye-bye.